can't see a thing, Jim. Well, hold on. I swear, there's always some damn thing. Wait, got it. Ah, hell, this thing ain't gonna hold. Shut up. Damn, you're ugly. You girl, strapped in nice and tight now. Tighter than your mama leg. Yeah, that's a good one, Meg. Locked in and cruising.
What you got for me out there, Joey Ray?
We got Terran for sure. I don't know about the rest. We got a big old buttload of floating debris out here. We hit pay dirt this time for sure. Explain to me how we gonna get all this home. I'm detached and moving toward the derelict spacecraft. Damn it, Jim. Video's out again.
Well, quit picking at it.
I ain't picking at it, damn it. I'm out of here with the hits in my giddy up and here and there. I'm in your tax. I'm here at your dirty Hold on. I got visual. It's the damn smoking by the back. I'm behind the ship. I'm behind you, Jim.
Hello and welcome to my next strategy game Let's Play. Before I did a game called Original War, which was my favorite RTS game of all time. Starcraft, on the other hand, is my first RTS game of all time, with a close second being Warcraft 2. So Starcraft holds a very dear place in my heart. Starcraft was probably the biggest rival to the Command & Conquer series during the late 90s, up to the early 2000s, I suppose. And Starcraft really is what resulted, or had esports result from it. Esports being professional game players. Because StarCraft literally became the national sport of South Korea. Which is why so many players who play StarCraft professionally are South Korean. But StarCraft balanced three entirely different factions with three entirely different gameplay styles perfectly. And combining that with, for the time, dang good graphics for an RTS game, and a sprawling campaign, like, there's probably like 10 odd missions per campaign, and there's an expansion after this. And there was also the campaign editor, which, although it was to make campaigns, people eventually made maps, custom game maps, which eventually gave way to Warcraft 3's custom game map, which, to this day, a decade later after Warcraft 3, is still the best map editor for any game to ever exist. Like, it was probably the most... It was Minecraft before Minecraft came out. Let's leave it at that. But the story was great, with all these different plots and subplots and twists and turns and all these things that built into this fantastic story on top of a fantastic game with fantastic gameplay. As a result, StarCraft was a even a big game, even a decade after it came out. And then Starcraft 2 happened, but I don't want to talk about that. Now, this is going to be an all-encompassing, entirely all-encompassing Let's Play of Starcraft. By that I mean, not only will I do the campaigns for each main faction in the original and Brood War, the expansion, but I will also be doing a few other things. There is this, the Precursor. The Precursor was actually the gameplay that came with the StarCraft 2 demo. And it gives not a whole lot, but a little bit of story before you actually do the main campaign. There's also the Enslavers, which is a little side campaign that people made. Apparently I accidentally did Precursor twice. Oh well. But there's also this little side campaign called the Enslavers. And there's even... apparently I need to put that back in there. But there was even the Enslavers 2, which is kind of a continuation of the story. And as you can see, there is a fair few missions to that as well. I will be doing that after I do the regular campaign for StarCraft. But before Brood War, just to mix it up a little bit. Why did I go back? Because what I'm going to do is play the Precursor before I even start the actual game. I have to use map settings to do all the triggers and all this hoo-hee-ha-hoo-hoo that is in it. But let's get right in there.
Welcome to Chowsara, Lieutenant. General Duke has instituted a brief field training exercise for all new Alpha Squadron commanders. The training grounds are prepared and the exercise may be initiated at your convenience.
Build 3 supply.
Simply press start to begin the exercise.
Okay.
You may skip.
Build 3 supply depots. Build... do not show tips. Build 3...
280 SCV is the cornerstone of our hostile environment construction and resource gathering operations. In order to build a thriving colony, numerous SCVs are necessary. You can build additional SCVs at a command center.
Exactly what she said. Now, as per all games, the initial tutorial...
To equip additional personnel, you must have enough supply depots to support them. You can use
Wrong building.
SCVs to build additional supply depots.
Now, as with all games, the original initial tutorial, not entire... excuse me, a little itch in my throat. Not entirely too... exciting, shall we say? You know, funnily enough, I could actually play this tutorial with Brood War enabled, but I decided not to not actually use the Brood War units.
Additional supply depots required. Lieutenant, the base is well underway. Completion of the full mission objectives is now in your hands.
Thank you. What I'm going to do is do a little bit of exploring. Don't really need to, but why not? I don't entirely know what we'll find, honestly. But it's worth a shot while the game is going. I will also periodically speed things up and slow them down. As you can see, much slower, much faster. Now, I believe if I go here, this is fastest. And fastest is generally... actually generally what I'll use. I was thinking of maybe this being a different game where it can go so fast that it's a bit difficult to play. But no, fastest is fine. Hey. Now, those are little zerglings. We will not find out about them just yet. Because for those of you who do know Starcraft, this demo campaign actually takes place prior to... Well, that guy's dead. This demo campaign actually takes prior to the happenings in StarCraft 1. Because in StarCraft 1, the Confederacy that I'm playing right now was actually your enemy and it was falling apart. Kinda spoilers, but it doesn't really cover that happening in this one. So, now, mission objectives, gather 100 Vespane gas. Okay. Not too difficult. Probably should have built that first, though. Hey.
Commander, rock and roll. Let's move.
I will say, I had to kind of fiddle with this quite a bit as well, just to get it to play on this computer, and be able to record it without having to use a virtual machine. In the similar way that I would have used...
The refinery processes all this feed gas, converting it into a form which your SCVs can gather.
SCV good to go, sir.
Yes, the optimal number is generally 3, but in the same way that I have to record Diablo in a hackshot way, I have to record StarCraft in a hackshot way. Because if just standard StarCraft is up,
This ends the field training exercise. A review of colonial diplomatic protocol begins in 1 hour.
if standard StarCraft is up, what happens is Bandicam crashes as soon as I hit the record. So I have to use a third-party program to force it into a window for Bandicam to then record an area. Not exactly ideal, but it works.
Adjutant online. We have entered into a low orbit over Chowsara and are preparing to descend to the planet. Receiving incoming transmission.
Lieutenant, it appears you've arrived just in time. As you know, the renegades who call themselves the Sons of Kohal have been working for months to undermine Confederate authority in the fringe colonies. Well, they're on Chowsara now, and I'd like to take care of them without involving the local militia. That's where your Alpha Squadron boys come in. There are to be no arrests, Lieutenant. I hope you understand what I mean. I want this problem solved once and for all. Good hunting.
Alright. So, kill everybody. Yes, game, thank you for telling me how to play a basic RTS game. I think I will have them rally here just to make sure that they don't get confused with those guys. Now, 1, 2, 1, 2. As it's been a while since I've properly played this game, I'm still trying to get used to using hotkeys. I will eventually start to use hotkeys, but at the moment, not exactly available. What I want to do is research infantry weapons, and then have you go do that. I was going to see if I needed gas, but, well. Now, what I will start doing...
Speak freely, sir. I'm not sure you know what you're doing. If you're going to send us into hostile territory and you want us to defend ourselves, then use the attack command.
like I'm doing right now.
Want us to ignore enemy fire and go exactly to the spot you targeted and use the move command. Now, which will it be? Sir, it looks like a dead end.
Well, you see, I was doing that right as you started to interrupt me. You know, kind of rude. I was building an academy. Academy will be nice for this fairly early game, because the rebels are infantry like us. You know what's really good against infantry? Flamethrowers. You know what these guys are? Fire bats. Fire bats use flamethrowers. I.e., they're fairly good at setting things on fire. I'm actually gonna put that to a control group so I can go back there easily. Well, that guy didn't stand a chance. It's like, I got him! Oh, I'm dead. Get in there. Now, how many people do we have actually mining? 5. Well, now you have 6, 7, and 8. As for you guys, let's continue.
Whatever they are, you must destroy them, Lieutenant. That is a direct order.
I'm gonna have you guys go do that.
Recon Squad, Cerberus reporting. We're here to oversee the extermination of these xenomorphs and contain the spread of any hostile infestation on this colony.
Why wasn't I informed of this? Confederate Command never consulted
We
me.
have our own orders, Magistrate. We don't answer to you. I suggest we get on with this mission. Go ahead, TACOM.
So, you guys.
Base is under attack.
Whoa! That was the Chaos Launcher that I need to use for, opening this up. Ah! As I said, this isn't a window. My cursor, actually, you know what? Cursor, lock to screen. Thank you. Should have done that earlier, but I didn't, because I derped. That was the Chaos Launcher, so if you pause for a moment and feel like seeing that, that is the Chaos Launcher that I had to use to open this.
Your forces are under attack.
Whoa. Attack back. Sheesh.
Upgrade complete.
Now, these are the Cerberus squad. Their troops are, as you can see, 300 and 160. A Cerberus Firebat is actually about 100 health more than our own and does a hell of a lot more damage. As you can see, 32. Our damage is 6 and has 40 health for our Marines. In fact, if I build a couple of our Firebats, you'll see how much more powerful the Cerberus squad is. But the Cerberus squad is apparently here to stop those Zerg. You'd find out that they are Zerg if you actually click on them, so I'm not technically spoiling anything. As you can see, 50 health, 16 damage. I also like is the Terran Academy to stop screaming and get increased range. To put you guys in tier 2. Because you guys are technically being controlled by me. And you guys will help a lot in the attack. The base is actually down here. I actually played this thing by myself. Because I was like, oh my god, there's a campaign that happened beforehand? Yes, please. Oh, and they have 3 armor to boot, so they're only taking half damage from these guys. But we more or less clean through their entire base, just like that. Having the Cerberus on our side made it fairly easy. One of them nearly died, though. He has 5 health. Yeesh. Oh, one of our men died. One of our men died. Now it's just a matter of blowing up the rest of their buildings, and that's it. I was gonna say, you better kill him right quick. What damage do you guys have? 20? Wow. Okay. Yeah. I lost one guy. Well, okay, let's actually just watch the intro for this and then leave it off here.
Receiving incoming transmission.
Greetings again, Lieutenant. I know you're anxious for some answers about those creatures. Suffice to say they are the subject of current high-level research. We had quarantined a number of these creatures for study, but shortly after our science crews began their experiments, all communication with the Planum installation was lost.
The installation has been compromised, and preliminary scanner sweeps indicate the area is crawling with hostiles. My Cerberus unit will handle the situation inside, but we require Alpha Squadron's assistance getting there. Any other information is on a strict need-to-know basis.
Well, that was quick. So, what we need to do is bring 2 Cerberus Firebats, meaning we'll be given at least 2, have them survive, and get all the way to the dedicated point. Most likely going through a bunch of Zerg in process. As you can see, these missions are fairly quick because they're only the demo, and they're pretty much exempling how the game will play out. But it's also giving you a little bit of story prior to the story. Like, if I were to play this without this, none of what's happening right now you would actually know. You'd never even hear about the Cerberus group, or really anything that the Confederacy did about the Zerg in the actual campaign. So I thought this was pretty awesome, and I wanted to start with it. But when we come back, we will go to mission 3 of 6 of this demo campaign, and then we'll get to the bread and butter of the thing. That's for next time, so until then, see you later.